So the start of a new week over here, we got a lot of exciting stuff going on, like I always do. That's why I really like what I do, and that's why I do what I do, because that's what it is. So what it is that I have to do, man, this is getting crazy. So what it is that I have to do is I have to continue working on the right-hand drive EK conversion project. It's not an EK conversion project, it's a right-hand drive conversion for an EK.
And now, you're watching the gas station toilet paper tragedy aftermath channel of YouTube. Welcome to BodeVision.
So what is up and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me on another video. This video is extra exciting, one, because we're going to continue to work on the right-hand drive Civic. Like I just mentioned, what we got to do, we got the right-hand drive subframe over there, parts in the container, parts just spread out everywhere, and hopefully we're going to take all those parts and then put them back into the car so we can get this car out of here. And another reason why this video is so exciting and today's such an exciting day is because the merch store is officially opened. Check down below. So what I got to do to get started, I don't know. I just got to start chipping away at it and this will eventually get done. That's how it always is, right? So it's been a couple hours now and I'm just kind of chipping away at it, doing a couple things here, a couple things there. It's important for me to remember and for me to always keep in the back of my mind to make sure to not put one thing back that's going to get in the way of another thing. For example, I can't put the clutch master cylinder right there. I can't put that back on until I get all the sound deadening stuff in there. Once the sound deadening stuff's in, I want to start to get the pedals worked on and the pedals organized, because once the heater core gets in there, you can actually still do the pedals, but it's a lot easier to work on those while the heater core is not in there. And then also, I got the 40/40 valve or proportion valve on there. The way that this works is these are obviously from the car. These are the US ones, and then the JDM ones are going to actually have to go to the master cylinder, because before they'd go to the master cylinder over there, but now I need these lines. It's this hole and this hole, the out and then the return, because you know it's a firewall swap. So I'm going to be using a combination of the JDM brake lines and the USDM brake lines, and I think the front ones are the same, but either way that's completely fine. And also this goes in the same exact location, the fuel filter on the firewall, even though it's the JDM one in the United States or over in Japan, they mount in the same exact spot. So now I want to turn my attention to the inside of the car, get the heater core in there, get all the electrical ran, get everything ran, and keep on working. Right now we're getting a little bit more deep into wiring, and hopefully I can explain this in a way that makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense, you can be in the comment section below asking me any questions and I'll get back to you on there. But I'm not going to walk you through how to do it every single step, every single wire, because this is how I make money. So what I did over here, this harness, this is the main harness. This one right here, this is from the left-hand drive car itself. This is usually over there in that area, and it's just disconnected right here, the gray one and the brown one, and those go right here. So normally the harness runs up along this side and then comes over here and then gets to the fuse box, which is normally underneath the steering wheel. All the plugins for the steering column, you have your signals, you also have your lights, you have the brake switch. Every single thing is supposed to come up this way. But now what I ended up doing is this is unplugged and this harness is going to be extended. There's about 10 wires here that are going to be extended, and I'm going to use the actual OEM wires that came from the clip itself, which is right there. You see that little sleeve? So I'm going to use all the wires from right there. They're the same colors and they're going to be plugged in, so that way everything makes sense and it's still all OEM. So even if you had to go through and troubleshoot this, you won't have any issues. So now it's going to come up This way, the fuse box is still going to be underneath the steering column. The brake light switch, every single thing is still going to plug in right there, and then it's going to come this way. So it's pretty simple if you think about it. As far as the right-hand drive and the left-hand drive firewall, they're basically mirror images of each other. So instead of the wires coming this way and going over, now I took every single one of those wires. They're going to now come this way and go over, and the plugs will technically be upside down, but that'll work, and that's the way that we're going about doing this. And then at the actual turn signals themselves, I'm gonna have to cross those wires on the inside, so when you turn on your left turn signal, the right turn signal doesn't light up, and that's just a couple different things. The headlights are all gonna be fine. And also I got the hood latch to go right there, you can see it. So when you pull the hood to be opened on the driver's side, it's gonna go around, and I got it plugged in right over here. So it comes out right here through this grommet, and what I did is I just poked a hole through the grommet, put some silicone right there because the other grommet doesn't fit unless you made a hole, but this is quick, nice and easy. And then I put these OEM clips on it there and there, then it comes around this way, and then it goes to the actual latch mechanism. I feel like swapping the firewall, doing the engine bay, all that stuff is pretty high paced relatively for a video, because you see the old firewall out, the new firewall coming in there, welding in, boom, 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 everything's moving quickly. Right now, this is kind of a little bit more tedious work, but we're getting there and we're making our way through this, and we should be wrapping up shortly. So I finished up yesterday. Today's a new day right now, not in this video, but in real life it's a new day. So I ended up getting the heater core put in there. Everything's looking just fine. I got all the wiring ran, and it's kind of weird because the actual USDM harness right here mounts perfectly with the JDM heater core box, so this clip is basically a lifesaver. So that clip right there allows the left-hand drive harness to work with the right-hand drive heater core box. All that stuff is going to be perfectly fine, and that's the way that it should be. And also, before I left yesterday, I went ahead and I threw the subframe up there. As you can see, it's all bolted in, and then you can see where the steering rack goes up, right-hand drive. That's the main purpose, was to allow the steering rack to go in and everything else to be mounted, and that's part of the process. So a lot of people are intimidated by installing a subframe, and to be able to do it with just one person, some people think that it might not be possible, but it's really easy. If you just put a jack right there, jack it up, put it in there, get it situated, take your time, don't force it anywhere. It really just goes up and perfectly in there. I had no trouble on it whatsoever. So now that the subframe is in there, I gotta start to switch over some of the other stuff on there off of the left-hand drive stuff. I gotta get the brakes, rotors, spindles, everything, coilovers in there, those upper camber kits. So I gotta get all that on the car, and that's it. So we actually hit a small little speed bump, and that's really all it is. It's just a small little speed bump. So on the lower control arm right here, this is the one that came with the clip. This is the one that came on the actual car. So this is the JDM one, the USDM one. And you can see right here, this is where the fork goes, and that's already set for that size. And if we come over to this one where the fork goes, you can see how much of a difference there is. So in order for him to run his MPC drop fork, it's not gonna fit on this one, there's no way. So we're gonna have to use these ones. And then that's just a couple of those big bolts that screw up top to the actual subframe. And then this 119 that goes in right there. So I'm just going to drop out the JDM ones, swap in the USDM ones. Now the only downfall is we're not going to be able to run the sway bar itself, but we didn't have a sway bar before, and he had these before. So the option that I'm going to go with is to actually run these without a sway bar, and if somebody wants to weld this tab in somewhere after the fact, they can do that if they want to. We got all the brake lines put back in. See, this line is the same exact line, this line is the same exact line for the USDM car or the JDM car. Same with this car, it's the same exact line. So you can either use for this line or this line, you can use that from the clip or from your actual car. These are coming from the car, and this one right here and this one right there are JDM only, because again, the US one goes over there. So everything is looking pretty good. We gotta keep working, gotta keep getting everything going. I got the clutch pedal in, I got the brake pedal in, I got the gas pedal in. And also, speaking of clutch pedal, I had to get this extended little thing over here to make sure that we can reach from here to there. Now this bracket, that bracket is for the USDM model, which sits over there. That's why the angle is a little off. You're gonna wanna use the JDM one if you get a 5-speed clip, but this clip that he bought unfortunately wasn't automatic. Well, it's not that unfortunate, it's just we don't have the exact right bracket, but it'll work. A way around relocating the reservoir to over there, from over there, and getting rid of all of that nonsense, and it's actually what I had in my hatch when I had it before I got rid of it. You can use a Honda S2000 clutch master cylinder, and what that does is it puts the reservoir right here, except you need a little spacer to pull the reservoir out a little bit. That way your pedal calibration is within range to be adjusted properly. So that's a little workaround. You can get a Honda S2000 clutch master cylinder. That way the reservoir is right on top of it, rather than having to worry about relocating it anywhere else. Coming to the end of this video, I think we definitely made some really good progress. I was hoping, or I was thinking, that by today I could be completely done. Today's Tuesday and I had some other stuff that I wanted to get done, but either way, as long as I get done by Friday, so that still gives me a whole nother 2 days. So I think it's easy to hit that goal. Hopefully I didn't just jinx it right there, but like I said, we got a lot of stuff done, a lot of the big stuff done. We got the subframe in, we got all the suspension back together. Swapping over those lower control arms kind of set me back a little bit, but it works, and that's just to be expected when you're doing anything on a car like this. And I know the drill by now that some stuff is gonna come up. And also, we got the dash in. I gotta finish extending those wires. My thinking is I wanna make sure everything goes where it's going to ultimately be, and then I'm gonna extend the wires. That way I don't overshoot or undershoot. I just wanna make sure they're nice and clean and extended, and they're gonna run underneath that back seat, and that'll be in the next video. So if by now you didn't see in the description below, shop BodeVision.com. That's where I have my shirts for sale. This one that I've been wearing during this video, I have one other one, and I also got a couple different slap stickers up there from quite a while ago, so that's there as well. And I know it's kind of a small shop, but I just want to kind of get a feel for how you guys react. And with those shirts, I only have a limited run left. I think I only have medium and large there right now. Either way, I'm just gonna have to see. If you're there and you don't see any sizes available, that's because they're all sold out. Like I said, a select few. So if you want them, you wear medium, you wear large, or you just want to check out the site and see the limited amount of stuff that I have, go check it out. I really appreciate it. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like this video, comment, subscribe, hit the link, do all the stuff. You know what it is. YouTube, I'm out.